she walks, she moves so fine, like a flamingo. Crimson dress that clings so tight, reaching out of sight. When she walks by, she brightens up the neighborhood. Oh, every guy would think of his if he just could.
Look at the state of that.
Look, I'm sorry, but did you see the legs on that?
Are you okay? No, I'm not. Have you seen what this idiot's done to my car?
Well, if you'd signalled...
Don't give me that. This is your fault. I've got a witness.
Oh, shut up, you clown.
There's no need for this.
You don't tell me to shut up.
Hey,
Come on,
listen up! Gentlemen, break it up, boy!
Gordon, who's Dr. Geoffrey Goodwin?
Yes. Look, I'm sorry. I tried to call you last night after I saw him.
All right, why would you bother to do that when you've already offered him the job?
Well, to try and explain.
Gordon, you're the senior partner. You can appoint who you like.
Look, it's not like that, Jill.
That's what's happened. Again.
Look, the harsh reality is we've been rushed off our feet since David's death. We had to get someone. And Dr. Goodwin has GP and an anaesthetic experience, and he can start straight away.
Right, so why bother asking for my opinion, hey? You know, I honestly thought that I meant more to you as a colleague and as a friend, but obviously not.
Oh, come on, Jill, please.
I've got patience to see.
Why have you got a dolly, Dr. Ormerod?
It's my daughter's. She says it's ill. I wanted to go to hospital. Can you put it somewhere, please?
I'll ask Sister Bridget if she's got a bed free.
It's a doll, Lizzie. Just put it in the drawer.
You all right, mate? Yeah, well, I was until I walked into a fist. Well, at least you did it in the right place. Come on, let's get you into casualty. Well, no, I'll be all right in a minute. There's no point in taking any chances. Look, see, you're right outside the Royal.
You wanted to see me, matron?
Yes. Sit down. Dr. Cheriton's mother's visiting the hospital today. I offered to send his belongings back to her, but she wanted to collect them herself. I'd like you to help her.
I'm on duty.
Mr. Rose doesn't have a list, only outpatients, and we'll cover casualty for you.
I'd still rather not.
I understand that. But I think you're the right person for the job. Thank you, staff nurse.
Wait, you shouldn't get up until someone sees you.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be late for work.
You'll probably get a day off. You're in a bit of a mess.
Really, is it that bad? Do you have a mirror?
The staff nurse will be down to see you in a minute. She'll clean up your cuts and she might send you to X-ray to see if anything's broken.
Well, you're lucky your mirror isn't. If you could just get me some antiseptic, I can do this myself.
It's not self-service.
You're the suspected concussion case, are you?
Yes, but I'd like to think of myself more as your new doctor. Jeff Goodwin. Pleased to meet you, matron.
Good morning, Mr. Peacock.
Pocock.
Oh, quite so. Pocock, how do we feel today?
You were rummaging in my guts half of yesterday. How do you think I feel?
Grateful, I should hope.
You've probably done for me.
Poppycock, Mr. Pocock.
Hey up. Sister Bridget said you needed something collecting from your house.
It's all right, keep your voice down. I make this home brew. Not for me, for the church. Parish supper. The bottles are all at my house. 5 crates. They need running to Bishop Macy Church Hall.
So how do I get into the house?
The neighbours have got a key.
Right. Well, today's a bit awkward. I can't
You
now.
can keep a crate for yourself.
Right, well, see what I can do.
You never guess who I just met in Casualty.
Our new doctor.
How did you know that?
I saw him first. So hands off.
Several members of staff have approached me about the possibility of a permanent memorial to David.
It sounds like you want to put up a statue to him.
But I was thinking that we might name the ward after him.
It doesn't sound very David.
No, perhaps not.
I plan to endow a scholarship to his old college. Perhaps any money you raise could go there.
Well, certainly. Come in. This is Staff Nurse Taylor, Mrs. Cheriton.
I was a friend of David's. I don't know if he said.
I don't remember him mentioning any nurses.
Merrill will take you over to David's flat in the nurse's home.
Should we go? I'd like to get this over with as quickly as possible.
How did this happen, Dr. Goodwin?
Please call me Jeff. We're going to be working together.
So, yeah.
Oh, basically, I got into a fight.
Really? On your way to work?
I like to make an early start.
Well, you've had a wasted journey, I'm afraid. You might have concussion, which means that you're not in any fit state to do any work today,
No. I'll be fine.
Well, I hope I don't need to remind you how unpredictable head injuries can be.
Well, I have no headache, no vomiting, no numbness, no neck pain, no loss of balance. I wasn't actually unconscious. And my coordination's, well, no worse than usual, so if you won't discharge me, I will.
I would strongly advise against that.
You know what lousy patients doctors make. I'll be fine.
I'm not wasting my time, aren't I?
So, is she like that with everyone? Or was this something I said?
She's ever so hoity-toity. No husband, no boyfriend, no fun.
Unlike you?
Oh, you'll have to find out.
Jeff, welcome to the Royal.
Thank you. Well, I hadn't planned on arriving on a trolley.
No. I heard about your adventure this morning. Is that going to be a problem?
No, I'm raring to go.
Excellent. Well, we've got a huge backlog of routine house calls, so I thought we'd start by letting you work through them. Give you a chance to get to know Elsinby.
Right. Well, I might need to borrow a map.
Ah, yes. Well, that's where Ken comes in. Oh. He's volunteered to show you around. He knows the town as well as anyone. In fact, he seems to be related to half the people who live here. Any questions?
No. Can't wait to get started.
Good man.
He met Dr. Goodwin in a pub for half an hour last night, and he offered him a job.
Jill, this is not my department. You'll have to take it up with Gordon.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I just thought that if you could speak to Gordon, there might be some chance that he'd take some notice. Has Dr. Goodwin signed a contract yet?
No, we haven't even discussed it. We still have to take up his references.
So it's not too late to reverse the decision?
Technically, no.
Good, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Look, hang on. Look, I realise Gordon could have handled the appointment better, but he's been under a great deal of pressure.
Yes, I know. I do realise that, probably better than anyone, but I think it has affected his judgment. The only reason for appointing Dr. Goodwin is because he was able to start immediately, and that makes life easier for Gordon.
That's being really rather harsh.
Yes, I know, I'm sorry. And you're right, this is something I need to sort out for myself.
Well, I left the car here. You did lock it, didn't you?
No. And the keys were in the ignition. I can't believe it. My suitcase, my doctor's bag were in it, everything.
Hang on, it was Alan that brought you in. Well, it's probably in the car park, then. You enjoying your new job, Doctor?
It really is quite a struggle for you to breathe, isn't it?
It's almost enough to make me want to give up the cigarettes.
Yes. Well, look, I think you'd be a lot better off if we got you into hospital. Why don't I just make arrangements with your housekeeper? All right?
How is he?
It's definitely pneumonia.
Oh,
I haven't told him. It can alarm some people.
he's so weak.
Yes, I can see. Look, I think we ought to get Father Carroll to hospital straight away. May I use your phone?
Yes. I saw your car, but I thought you'd have locked it.
Yeah, well, that might have been a good idea. I suppose I better call the police.
Well, there is somewhere we could try first. My brother-in-law, Martin.
More like your brother breaking the law.
Hey, that's all in the past now. But if a car's been stolen within 20 miles of Elsinby, he'll hear about it. Now, you could go to the police. That would take all day. One phone call from Martin could sort you out.
Yeah, well, I don't care what he says. My doctor's bag's been stolen. I have to report it to the police.
Things are a bit different round here. Ken has his own way of doing things, but they usually work.
Oh, yeah? What happens when they don't?
We all keep our heads down. You can use phone in reception.
Right.
Can I ask you something? Why couldn't anyone from the hospital go to the funeral?
I wanted it to be for just the family.
There are lots of people that work here. And David's patients too. They would have liked a chance to say goodbye.
Well, I hate big funerals. We had one when my husband died, and I said never again. It's a bit grim, isn't it? My brother works at the Westminster. David could have had a job there. I don't know what got into him.
You liked it here.
I suspect the novelty would have worn off. David got bored very quickly, even when he was a child. After all, what was there to keep him here?
Oh, are you comfortable there, Father?
You've done a good job.
I should think so, too. An important guest like yourself.
That's enough of your old blarney. And I think you should know I'm here to keep an eye on you. I hear you've been working a lot of overtime and missing Mass.
We've been very busy here.
I was beginning to think you had a boyfriend.
No, Father. You see what you've done now? Better?
About as good as I'm going to get.
It's about Dr. Goodwin. Yeah. Well, if she could phone me as soon as possible, I'd be very grateful. Thank you. Bye-bye. Lizzie, if Dr. Hayden calls from Newcastle General, will you put her straight through?
Yes, Doctor.
How are your rounds going?
Yes, well, a bit of a problem with my car, unfortunately. I haven't actually started them yet.
Really? Don't let me stop you.
Lizzie, Dr. Goodwin needs a doctor's bag. Is it all right if he takes the one from Dr. Cheriton's room?
Well, I don't see why not. I'll show him where.
OK.
This'll be your room, so you better make yourself at home. There's Dr. Cheriton's bag.
Oh, right, thanks.
We'll clear out his bits and pieces. Dr. Omrod told you, did he?
Yeah, he's obviously going to be a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
Well, I better get going.
How are you going to do your rounds if you don't have a car?
Oh, your dad said he'd give me a lift.
Oh, yeah.
Why, is there something I should know?
Me dad, well, sometimes he has reasons of his own for doing things. He's got his fingers in more pies than he's got fingers.
Do you want to keep this picture?
Oh, I hadn't seen this one. Isn't she lovely?
Yes. Who is she?
Madeline, David's fiancée.
I didn't know he was engaged.
Oh, well, they had a silly row just before he came up here. I'm sure it would have all blown over.
She's very pretty.
Yes, I always hoped. Well, for a lot of things, really. This isn't any good. I'm going to need another suitcase.
I'll see if I can find some boxes.
Yes. Yes, boxes would be a good idea.
So this is just a routine checkup to see how you're getting on. You weren't feeling too well and had a bit of a rash.
Well, that's right, Doctor. But I'm not getting any younger, am I?
And how have you been since you last saw the doctor? Better? Worse? About the same?
Not so good.
Shall I answer that for you?
Oh, thanks, Doctor.
Hello?
Dr. Goodwin, it's Lizzie from the hospital. There's an emergency at Thurminger Hall. They need you there straight away.
And your father knows where that is? Okay, Lizzie, we're on our way. I'm sorry, Mr. Alton. There's an emergency I've got to go to. I'll try and come back later in the week.
There's no rush. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, it's probably just my age.
Everything else all right, is it? Digestion, waterworks?
I think so.
Well, you don't sound completely sure. Any trouble passing water?
I don't seem to pass so much now.
Right. Well, we should take a look at whether anything needs doing about that next time I see you. It was good to meet you. Looks like a nice place.
Aye.
Dr. Goodwin, do you mind if I nip off for 10 minutes? I only have an errand to run.
Of course not, Ken.
I'll see you back here.
Thank goodness you're here. My husband went out to do something rather to the lilacs, and he just went.
You mean collapsed?
I thought he tripped over a root. But then when he didn't get up, I started to worry, and that was half an hour ago.
Has Lord Firminger ever had any heart trouble?
Oh, yes, for years. Terrible angina. He sees the Lord Lieutenant's physician. You know Tom Warrington?
No, I've not had the pleasure.
Oh, he's awfully good. I would have called him, but he's always in Scotland at this time of year for the salmon. Or is it Hampshire for the trout?
I'm sorry, I really ought to see your husband as quickly as possible.
Oh, yes, of course.
So where is he?
There.
Where?
On the island.
Oh, of course. Silly question, but do you have a boat?
Well, how else would Gerald have got across? He couldn't swim out, could he?
No. Looks like I might have to.
You could always punt. Oxford you stand at the front and Cambridge at the back. Or is it the other way round?
I've no idea. Haven't you got a paddle?
No, you push it with the pole.
Right. Well, while I do that, it might be helpful if you called an ambulance.
Don't have a lot, but with me that's fine. Whatever I got, well, I know it's mine. I don't go around with a local crowd. I don't dig what's in, so I guess I'm out. I'm saying these things so you know me, baby. So you understand what I'm all about. The boat that I row won't cross the road. The boat that I row won't get there soon. But I got the love if you got the notion. The boat that I row,
Maybe I'll walk from here.
Hello? I'm looking for someone to let me into Mr. Pocock's house next door. I'm from the Royal. He asked me to come and collect something for him. Suit yourself.
Lord Firminger, I'm Dr. Goodwin. It's your heart problem again, is it?
Damn thing caught me on the hop.
Well, let's have a listen. Oh. Well, it could be water on the lungs. Sorry, just a joke. Let's have a listen. Okay. I need to get you into hospital, okay?
Sister, could you do something for me? Would you telephone Mrs. Hook, my housekeeper?
Is there something you need?
I'd like her to be here with me. She won't come to the hospital unless I ask.
I'll call her straight away.
You can tell her there's no rush. I don't want her to worry.
After 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. You got it?
Doctor, is he going to be all right?
I hope so.
So do I, boy.
Now, if you could go with him in the ambulance and tell the doctor in casualty about your husband's heart problems.
Oh, aren't you coming?
No, there's another patient I have to visit. If the bloke who's driving me ever comes back.
Oh, it's awful, isn't it? One simply can't find a reliable chauffeur these days.
No, one simply can't.
Oh, I brought you a change of clothes.
Thank you.
I'm terribly impressed, you know. Old Tom Warrington would never have jumped to the lake, and we pay him a fortune in fees.
Well, it's all part of the service. Your carriage awaits.
We've been round the whole hospital. Are you sure she really needs all these bottles?
No, but I needed to get away from there.
Why? What's wrong?
I can't believe David's mother's a woman like her. Helen, get a doctor.
Have you ever fainted like this before, Mrs. Cheriton?
No, I don't make a habit of it.
It's a bit of a mystery. Look, I think it might be best if we admit you for observation.
Come on. Alan will help you through to the ward.
Oh, it's all right. I can walk.
Let's not take any chances.
Hello, I'm Samantha Beaumont. David was a very special friend to all of us.
Oh, how kind.
Is she going to be all right?
Should be. I can't see anything wrong with her at all.
I've been with him nearly 35 years. Made his breakfast and his dinner every day.
I hope he'll have a few more years yet.
I hope so too. He's been putting his papers and things in order. He sat at enough bedsides. I don't think he expects.
No, he doesn't. But there's always hope.
They seek him here, they seek him there. His clothes are loud, but never square. It will make or break him, so he's got to buy the best, 'cause he's...
What's going on? I've been waiting half an hour.
Ah, well, I had the room to run, didn't I?
Yeah, well, I've got patients to see. I want to go back to Fred Alton's house.
Right, so, Doc.
It's just a hunch. Something wasn't right there. It's probably nothing, but I don't want to take any chances.
I was hoping that you could give me a hand with summit.
I've only seen 2 patients so far today, Ken.
Oh, we get this little job all done, we'll whip round the rest of them in no time, and hey, is there anything I can ever do for you?
Yeah, you'll hear from me. I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
Keep going, Doctor. You're nearly there.
Ken.
I'll do well.
Cleaning windows, are we?
No. There's a patient at the hospital lives here. He's worried about his gutters. I thought I'd have a deco.
Have you got Dr. Goodwin with you?
Dr. Goodwin?
Lizzie told me that you were driving him round this morning.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Then where is he, then?
Have you tried Firmingham Hall? I dropped him off there earlier on.
I'll try him there, then.
That's what you're looking for?
Aye.
Well, there's plenty more inside.
Right, we'll take the lot.
Right.
Yes, I'll open the van for you.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have left you alone in David's flat.
I don't see what difference that would have made.
I could have helped you more quickly. How are you feeling now?
A little better. But that doctor, he obviously thinks it's all in my head, that I'm being hysterical.
He wouldn't have kept you in if he thought that. Would you like me to finish packing things up at the flat?
Get rid of the whole lot. I don't want to see any of it again.
The photos and everything.
I've lost my husband. I've lost my only child. I don't need any of their belongings to remind me. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I do.
Any change?
No, Doctor.
Okay. Well, I won't disturb him now. They're like an old married couple.
There's always been gossip like that in the town. That's because people have evil minds and tongues to match.
Well, that was just an observation, sister, not a criticism.
Father Carroll's a good man.
I know. As far as I'm concerned, loving Martha Hook doesn't make him a bad one.
That depends on whether loving Martha Hook means what the town gossips think it does.
Well, I'm sorry. It was just a casual remark. I'll look in on him later.
There goes another one.
They're going off like flaming howitzers.
I'll tell you something else as well. That's not beer. That's ginger beer.
Oh, that's disgusting.
As a doctor, I would say we have a duty to the people of Bishop Macy not to deliver this stuff. So there's not much in it for you, is there? Hey, but cheer up. There's one crate that's not broken. You get a few tanners back for the bottles.
Martha?
Father O'Connell's with him, giving the sacrament.
Can't you be there too?
Oh, no. It wouldn't be right. I'll wait here now. He doesn't need me.
Have you lost weight recently?
I couldn't say.
Those trousers look a bit loose. What did you buy them to grow into?
No, they used to fit.
Tender there, is it?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to have to do another examination. Now, it won't be much fun for me and even less for you, but it will be easier to do with you lying down. So if you could get onto your bed for me.
I'm sorry. I'll miss him. He was good company.
He was.
I'll break the news to Martha Hook.
No, I'll do that.
What will happen to her now? I suppose she'll have to move.
They'll need the house for the new priest.
That's very tough on her. She was with him for such a long time. That sort of selfless devotion should... I don't know.
She seemed happy with it. I mean, it's not so different than you and Mrs. Ormerod. I'm sorry, Doctor.
No, it's... it just hadn't occurred to me that I was the loyal, devoted type. Probably me just avoiding the issue.
The Royal. No, Doctor, you can't do an operation this afternoon. Mr. Rose doesn't have a list.
But can you contact him? Okay, then I will. And whatever happens, I'm going to need an ambulance. Thanks.
That's my ball.
Oh, would you like me to put it back in the bunker for you, Mr. Rose?
You a member?
No, I most certainly am not. I'm Jeff Goodwin, your new anaesthetist at the Royal.
In that case, I shall make your acquaintance next Tuesday morning at 0900 hours sharp. I have absolutely no reason to see you until then.
No, but I need you, Mr. Rose. I have an elderly male patient with uremia and prostatic cancer. He has a vastly distended bladder.
Then use a catheter, man. Didn't they teach you anything at medical school?
Yes, well, I've tried. I can't catheterize the patient because of the blockage caused by the cancer. Now, he's going to need a TUR or a cystotomy at once, in my opinion.
Your opinion had better be right, or your career as my gas man will be as miserable as it is brief. Fetch my gloves.
Sorrow's heaving around my head. It's been heard and it's been said that you can try.
Afternoon, Mr. Rose. I thought this was your afternoon off.
So did I.
Mr. Middleditch, this is our new doctor.
Ah. T.J. Middleditch, Hospital Secretary. Welcome to the Royal.
Thank you. Could we possibly do the formalities later? I've got an emergency on my hands.
Yes, of course.
Right.
There was just one thing. The police are trying to find you.
Oh. Well, it's always nice to be wanted. I'll call them back later, Lizzie. Oh, and I found this. It's a letter Dr. Cheriton was writing. I'm not too sure who I should give it to. Thank you.
Is Mrs. Cheriton still in Fawcett Ward?
Do you want me to take that to her?
No, I think perhaps I'd better.
That Dr. Goodwin is a bit different, isn't he?
If you mean different from a doctor, I'm inclined to agree.
Oh, what's that smell?
Ginger beer.
Are you sure?
No.
There's a message for you from Uncle Martin.
Why?
Where's it gone? Here we are. He says a lad came into his garage and offered to sell him an MGB Roadster. He's got all the details, but it'll cost you more than 20 quid.
He's got a nerve, hasn't he?
£20 sounds quite good to me. Do you want me to tell him you're not interested?
No, I'll do it. In a minute. No blood's thicker than water, Lizzie. But he's asking for it. Hello? Ashfordley Police?
How are you feeling?
Much better.
In fact, I was hoping to catch the 4 o'clock train.
As long as the doctor said it's all right for you to go. Shall I get your clothes?
Thank you. Oh, excuse me. I wonder if you could do something else for me. I'd like to see Nurse Taylor before I go.
I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, Dr. Goodwin.
Did I get it wrong?
It's a very egocentric attitude. No, you got it quite right. Your patient does indeed have a tumour. Bougie, please, nurse.
Well, let's hope you're better with that than you are with the sandwich.
Clamp, please, nurse.
Mr. Rose?
For Dr. Goodwin's mouth, he's under the mistaken impression that I enjoy background noise while I'm operating.
I don't suppose you've seen the elusive Dr. Goodwin?
Yeah, he got back about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, can I have a word?
You can't. He's in the operating theatre.
They caught the great train robbers in less time than it's taken me to get hold of your new doctor. I better have a word with Mr. Middleditch. Is he in the operating theatre too?
The only time Mr. Middleditch ever went in there, he fainted. Only I'm not supposed to tell anyone that.
I won't say. Is he in his office?
You can go through.
Oh, and next time you see your dad, tell him that tip-off was bang on.
Thank you for coming.
It's all right. But I can't stay long.
Apparently this was in David's doctor's bag. He wrote it to me, but never posted it. I think you should read it. There's quite a lot about you in there.
Shall I leave you a moment?
No. I just wanted to see him. Thank you.
What'll you do now?
I don't know.
Can you wait a bit and I'll walk home with you? Martha?
I never kissed him before.
But he knew. He wanted you here with him today. And he'll always be with you.
I had no idea you meant so much to him.
Well, I was never quite sure.
That's David for you. David and I, well, we didn't part on very good terms when he came up here to work. I didn't think he should have accepted the job. Sometimes I thought he only did it to get away from me.
He wasn't like that.
I didn't think so. But we hadn't spoken since then. I just hoped I'd find something in the room. Something to show me that he didn't hate me.
He didn't. There was a brooch. He bought it for your birthday.
Yes. Yes, I found it. He was going to send it with a letter. He said it was a peace offering.
I helped him choose it.
I want you to have it. As a peace offering.
Thank you.
When I was alone in his room, I couldn't find anything. I didn't think there was going to be anything. You don't know how much this letter means to me.
I do. He loved you.
Well, I've got a train to catch.
It was good to meet you.
Perhaps you could write to me sometimes. I'd like to hear your news.
I'll try.
Don't forget him.
Oh, I'm sorry I snapped at you earlier. I really was upset, though.
Oh, that's all right. It's my fault. I meant to talk to you, but I didn't want to miss the chance of recruiting Jeff. You see, I feel... obviously, I feel he's ideal.
You think so?
And you obviously don't.
Well, he's not made a great impression so far. I mean, I'm sure there's a very good reason for his mysterious fight on his way to work and his reluctance to actually see any patients. But what I really want to know is, why did he leave his last job?
Well, apparently he didn't take to Newcastle General.
Apparently, Newcastle General didn't quite take to him. His reference arrived second post. Apparently, if he hadn't resigned, he'd have been sacked.
He didn't tell me that.
I bet he didn't. Good job he hasn't signed his contract. I think you better have a read.
Well, he's come through that remarkably well.
No longer having a bladder distended to the size of a melon does have its benefits. And congratulations, your diagnosis was correct. However, I want your solemn undertaking that you will never set foot on the hallowed turf of my golf club again.
Well, I shouldn't think they'd want me as a member.
To be candid, you did me a favour. It was a case of Chateau Talbot riding on the game. I was 2 holes down with 3 to play. Do you know who that is? Lord Firminger.
Oh, yes, we're old friends. We go boating together.
What on earth are you doing working at the Royal?
Could I have a word? That's a very good question. What are you doing coming to work at the Royal?
Well, I needed a job.
You had a job at Newcastle General, but according to your references, you were on the point of being sacked.
Yes. Well, that is true. I was working for a consultant there. Oddly enough, he reminds me of your Mr. Rose. And we had an argument when he suggested that, in his opinion, there were certain people who would never make good doctors.
What's wrong with that?
Those people were women, the Irish, and quite possibly anyone who went to the sort of school that I went to. So I disagreed. Quite forcefully, which probably was a mistake. I don't know when to keep my big mouth shut.
So why did you come here?
I really do need a job. I had to borrow some money to get myself through medical school, and I'm still paying it back. I can't afford to be out of work. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have chosen here.
Dr. Withering, phone call for you.
Thank you.
Dr. Goodwin, at last.
Well, I hope that I was worth the wait.
So do I. The Ashfordley police have recovered your car and this.
Oh, thank you. Well, this was in my car when it was stolen this morning.
So I understand. The police have also arrested a young man who has forged some prescriptions using your name.
Well, it's been one of those days.
Well, while I have you here, a word about your appearance.
Oh, no +4s at work.
If you don't mind. How was your first day?
Interesting.
Good. We don't like our doctors to be bored, or boring for that matter.
Well, I shall try and keep you on your toes.
I'm sure you will.
You know my friend Joan Hayden from Newcastle?
Yes.
I was her on the phone.
And did she give me a clean bill of health?
Well, she says that you're infuriating to work with and you're far too full of yourself. But on the other hand, you're an excellent doctor and we'd be mad not to offer you a job. As if you still want it.
Well, I like what I've seen so far.
Welcome to the Royal.
Right,
Good night, good night.
Evening, Ken.
Evening, Dr. Goodwin. What can I do for you?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you for finding my car.
Ah.
You know, the police were surprised your brother-in-law was so helpful.
Well, the truth is, Martin's not really a hopkirk. He doesn't out for free. So I told him you'd pay him a reward. He found your car, thought he could fleece you for a few bob. But once I told him about the drugs and the stolen prescriptions and the fact that the police were on the way around to see him, he came over all cooperative.
So poor old Martin finds my car and ends up with nothing.
No, I promised him a crazy of home brew so there'd be no hard feelings. Good night, Doctor.
Night, Ken.
Hi. Where are you off to?
Well, I've got to collect my car from Ashfordley.
Do you want a lift?
Hey, can you drive in those shoes?
No, but it's all right. We can get a taxi, and you can drive me home.
The only thing keeping her breathing is a machine.
Get out! Get out, quick!
End this now. Let my daughter rest in peace.
Nobby is what we call a bone setter, Doc.
If any of us use an unqualified bone setter on any of our patients, we'd risk being struck off.
She's just an ordinary nurse.
The answer's yes.